Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to graph by using compression and stretching. Okay, so in the first set of equations you are saying that y equals to square root of x plus 1 is the main equation. We will graph it first, and then in the second function or second equation you will see that the right hand side of the first one is multiplied by a number greater than 1. Here is by 2. Okay, you are multiplying whole right hand side by 2, and on the second one, on the third one, the whole right hand side is multiplied by 0.5, that is less than 1. So here you multiply the right hand side, everything on the right hand side by a number greater than 1, and in this one everything on the right hand side is multiplied by a number that is less than 1. So let's see how does the graph look like. Okay, so on the first one, let's plug in 0 for x. You will get square root of 0 plus 1, that will be just 1. Okay, on second one, so on the same equation, when you plug in x equals to 1, you will get 1, square root of 1 is 1, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. And then the last one is square root of x plus 1. When you plug in 4, square root of 4 plus 1 is 2 plus 1, that is 3. So I picked the x values in such a way that has the square root as an integer. Okay, now let me plug in this into the graph. So let me plug in these points into the graph. So 0 1 is this point, right, and then 1 2 is this point, and then 4 3 is this point. Okay, so it keeps but this is defined only for the positive values of x. If x is negative, it is not defined. So this is how the graph looks like. Okay, graph of y equals to square root of x plus 1. Okay, so and then it keeps going like this. Now let's write down the values of y for given values of x for the second equation. So everything on the right hand side of this is multiplied by 2, so it will be 2, and then this will be 4, and then this will be 6. Did you see that? So how does that look like? So it will be like, so at 0 it will be 2, so this point will be shifted up, right, or by 2 times, right, and then this will be at 2, it will be 4 somewhere here, and then this will be 6 somewhere here. So it will be like, right, so this will be like that. So it is basically vertically stretched, right? So this point is stretched, so it will be so it was 0 1, and then 1 2, and then it was 4 3, but now this is 0 2. So it is vertically stretched twice, and then this one is 1 4, right, and this one is, this point is basically 4 6. Okay, so meaning that if you multiply right hand side by a number greater than 1, then you will be stretching, vertically stretching. Okay, it will be same as the vertical stretch. Now let's see, if you multiply by a number, whole right hand side by a number that is less than 1, is it a stretch or compression? Let's see that. Okay, let me plug in these points here. So when you plug in 0, you will get 0 plus 1 times 0.5 is 0.5. If you plug in 1, you will get 1 plus 1, and then times 1 plus 1 is 2, times 0.5 is 1. And if you plug in 4, you will get 4 square root of 4 is 2 plus 1 is 3, times 0.5 is 1.5. Okay, let's see how does that it look like. So at 0 it is 0.5, so this is that point. At 1 it is 1, so this is that point, and at 4 it is 1.5, so half of that, right? So it will look like this, meaning that if you multiply the right hand side of the function, the whole right hand side of the function, by a number that is less than 1, it could be 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, like that. If it is less than 1, it is basically the vertical compression. You compress like that. Okay, so this point will be compressed to that point, and but if it is greater than 1 though, it will be stretched. This point is stretched to that, this point is stretched to that. All right, so the main idea here is, if you multiply the right hand side of a function by a number bigger than 1, then you will see the vertical stretch, and if you multiply by a number less than 1, you will see the vertical compression. All right, let's see in this graph. So this graph is already drawn here. Okay, now we want to plot the graph for y equals to square root of 2x plus 1, y equals 0.5x plus 1. What does that mean? If you look at this equation, so this equation is basically obtained from this. This is square root of x, right? Okay. Now, if you look at this set of equations, basically the second equation and the third equation, or the second function and the third function, are obtained from the first function, where on the second one you multiply x by a number greater than 1, that is x by 2. Here everything on the right was multiplied by 2, but here we multiply only for x. Okay, similarly here we multiply only for x by 0.5. Here 2 is greater than 1, 0.5 is less than 1, so we are multiplying to x by a number greater than 1 and by a number less than 1. Let's see how does that look like. So let's plug in for this one. If you plug in x equals to 0, you will get 1. So let's plug in these values, and then you will see that 0, 1. For 0, you will get 1, and then for 1 it is 2.41, so it will be 2.41 somewhere here, right? And then at 2 it is 3, right? And then if you plug in 4 here, though, if you plug in 4, you will get square root of 4 times 2. That will be square root of 8, right? It is almost like 3, and then plus 1, it will be almost like 4. So the graph will look like, okay, and for the second one it is 0, 1, and then at 1 it is 1.71, at 1 it is 1.71, it is somewhere here, and then at 4 it is 2.41, it is 2.41, so it will be somewhere like here. So you see the similar pattern here, right? So whenever you multiply the x by a number bigger than 2, it will be again the vertical stretch, or in other words, if you want to say horizontal direction, it will be horizontal compression, right? If you compress this pink curve, it will go up. Okay, and if you multiply by a number less than 1, if you multiply x by a number less than 1, it will be same as the vertical compression, because this curve is compressed to that curve. So it is like y equals to square root of x plus 1. This is just x plus 1. This is y equals to square root of 0.5x plus 1, and this is y equals to square root of 2x plus 1, and similar thing here, right? And you can see that if you multiply x by a number that is less than 1, then you will see the vertical compression, or yes, you will see vertical compression, or you can in other words, you can see the horizontal stretch, and it comes down. Okay, because you can see that these points are stretched that way, like this point is stretched, this value is basically stretched like that, and then this point goes down. Okay, so this is how so the basic idea here is, if you multiply x by a number that is bigger than 1, just x, okay, x by a number that is bigger than 1, then you will see horizontal compression or vertical stretch. And if you multiply x by a number that is smaller than 1, then you will see the vertical compression or the horizontal stretch. Basically, vertical compression and horizontal stretch shows the similar pattern. All right, guys, let's see an example of the horizontal vertical stretch, but I'm including some of the steps from the previous video, meaning that doing the horizontal and the vertical shifting. Okay, let's see an example. If the graph of f of x equals to x cubed plus square root of x is vertically stretched by scale 2 and horizontally stretched by scale 1/2, and finally shifted down by 2 units followed by 2 units shift to left, write the final equation. Okay, so this is the word problem basically, and you want to write the final equation of this original equation with all these transformations. Okay, so number one is you are doing vertical stretch by scale 2. So if you want to do the vertical stretch or vertical compression, the whole right hand side should be multiplied by that scale, right? So this will be f of x will be 2 and then x to the cubed plus square root of x. So this is the vertical stretch by scale 2, and it is followed by the horizontal stretch by scale 1/2. Whenever you do the horizontal stretch or horizontal compression, you multiply this number for x. Okay, so for the step 2 you will get f of x equals to 2, you copy that, and then for this x you replace by 1/2 x to the cubed plus square root 1/2 x. So if you want to, you can write this as 2 and then x cubed over 8, makes sense, and then plus square root of x over 2. This is how you write. Basically square root of x over square root of 2, right? So square root of x over square root of 2. Okay, and number 3 says that it is shifted down by 2 units. Okay, do you remember what should you do if you want to shift down? You're right. So whole right hand, you subtract that number from the whole right hand side, meaning that it will be f of x equals to 2 and then x cubed over 8 plus square root of x over square root of 2 and then minus 2. Okay, and the followed by 2 units shift to the left. So again I'm using all those 2 again. So number 4 is you are shifting 2 unit to the left, means so when you shift left or right you should add or subtract to x only, right? So it will be 2 and then x plus 2, because when you shift to the left you add the number to x only. Cube over 8 plus square root of x plus 2 over square root of 2. The reason why you add 2 is because it is 2 units shift. Okay, and then minus 2, that is outside. So this is the final equation. Okay, if you want to simplify you can simplify this and then write the final form. That's it guys, thank you.